This is a taste of reality about four guys that grew up in a certain way, in a certain period of time, who, with all odds against them, became successful.
Don't miss Jersey Boys. Jersey Boys, Broadway's blockbuster mega hit that has audiences and critics cheering. As the New York Times says, the crowd goes wild. It's the behind-the-music look at one of the greatest singing sensations of all time. This supercharged knockout follows Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons working their way from the streets of Newark to the heights of stardom.
And the 2006 Tony Award for Best Musical goes to Jersey Boys.
After taking home theater's highest honor, this international phenomenon has taken the world by storm, being named the best show in Vegas, winning Best Musical Awards in London and Australia, and shattering box office records across America.
I knew it was good, but I had no idea that it would reach so many people in so many different ways.
A friend of mine came to see the show and he said, you know, I think this show is going to be bigger than you guys were. So I said, well, terrific.
Who's gonna help you through the night? Who loves you, pretty mama? Who's always there to make it?
Now it's your turn to have the night of your life at the Tony Award-winning Best Musical, Jersey Boys, on Broadway, in Las Vegas, and across America.
This is a taste of reality about four guys that grew up in a certain way, in a certain period of time, who, with all odds against them, became successful.
Jersey Boys is coming to the Marcus Center for the Performing Arts beginning July 20th. Jersey Boys, the story of four guys working their way from the streets of Newark to the heights of stardom.
A friend of mine came to see the show and he said, you know, I think this show is going to be bigger than you guys were. So I said, well, terrific.
Have the night of your life at the Tony Award-winning Best Musical, Jersey Boys. Coming to Milwaukee July 20th for 4 weeks only. Visit Ticketmaster.com.
Tonight's primetime lineup on Channel 5 is sponsored by Jersey Boys. The Tony Award-winning musical is working its way back to Boston's Colonial Theater. Visit Ticketmaster.com today.
The show was not seen as just a vehicle for the music. The music was part of a story, and the show was meant to dramatize a story. And I think that made such a difference. And the show is very gripping in that regard. You don't have to know who the Four Seasons are.
It's a very unusual fragrance. Never smelled anything like that before. What do you call it?
Soap?
I've heard people say, you know, normally I can't stand musicals. My wife drags me to them, and I love your show.
It's amazing how people respond to it. This show, I think, more than any other show that I've been a part of, and maybe more than any show that I've ever even seen, has a way of touching people like I've never seen.
As much as I thought I knew about the Jersey Boys, that night in the theater, I found out much more. Besides the great music, this was an honest American adventure. But it was real. It was honestly biographical. And that's what knocked me out. Because when I learned more about the Four Seasons, I said, my goodness, I had no idea.
Chicago's favorite boys are back with us this morning. The Jersey Boys have packed in the audiences since first taking the stage in Chicago last fall. And you know, you can get to know cast members a little better now with a series of stage-side chats. That's exciting.
I know, we're going to learn about that. But right now, we're so excited to have all the guys back with us this morning. Not only are they great entertainers, guess what? They can also cook. Now, the Jersey Boys are here to share it's Frankie Valli's own secret recipe for meatballs. And in real life, they are Drew and Jared and John and Brian.
Welcome, guys. Before we get started on the meatballs, what about these stage-side chats?
Well, they're going to be happening starting tonight and every night for the next 4 weeks. If you get tickets on Tuesdays, yes. Okay. If you get tickets to the show, you get to stay after and have a post-show chat with myself and Brian or Jared or John, and you'll get to talk about the show and ask any questions you might have about you know, being an actor or working on a show that's amazing like Jersey Boys.
Well, you know what? Kind of I think that's such a great thing because it's such a great show. When it ends, you don't want it to be over. So how nice to be able to talk to you guys.
Yeah,
that's going to be fun.
And a lot of people have a lot of questions just about, you know, what it's like to do that kind of show every single night and how you keep your stamina up and how Jared keeps his voice in shape. And
that's stuff everybody does.
Everybody wants
The voice is tough. Yeah, it's constant maintenance.
Do you get breaks? Like, if they try to give you breaks so you don't have to do every show so many weeks in a row?
I do 6 out of the 8 shows each week.
Okay.
And then I take a vacation every 4 or 6 months.
How do you?
Just
You know, Okay,
so.
who really does cook around here? I know you do.
I know.
You do?
Not as much. Not my element. But we got to mix it.
Okay, let's get started.
Okay.
Yeah, so
yes. Really, you got a pound of ground beef and a half a pound of ground pork, and you just and you've had your breadcrumbs. This is supposedly the secret: the breadcrumbs that have been soaking in warm milk. So they're really doughy. So you just so you throw the meat right in there.
Okay.
And then you start.
They all wash their hands. And the first.
Everyone's watching. The first thing you're supposed to take off all your jewelry, especially rings. Now he's still got his watch on, but just don't go wrist deep, and you'll be fine.
Right.
And we got so just throw all the meat in, and then we've also got some. We've got 4 seasons.
Really?
We're not counting the garlic. You ladies can do the garlic.
Okay.
So we got a little salt.
A little salt here.
Okay. You're the salt. Okay.
Salt and some pepper and oregano and parsley and
all the bear essentials.
All the bear essentials.
Smells good. And lots of garlic.
And lots of garlic. 2 cloves of garlic.
Right.
2 cloves of chopped garlic.
And the real thing to remember is that you just feel free to get your hands right in there.
You should already be.
Once we get a little binder, get in there.
Start mixing it now. Yeah, you won't be.
See, now you want to be a doctor, don't you? And then there's cheese, too.
Lots of cheese.
All the cheese.
Okay.
All of it. Just dump that in there. Yeah.
Okay. So you really mix that up good until it's nice and homogeneous.
Okay,
you look experienced.
I think it'd be kind of fun. I feel like I'm playing with. All right, so then what we...
Yeah,
keep going.
Keep going. It's all good,
and then you take a chunk of it.
Yeah, take a chunk and then make a 2-inch ball.
Take a 2-inch ball and throw it over your shoulder.
I'm all right. Go ahead. You want to get in there too?
Sure.
You don't want to make them too tight though, because then they'll be too dense, and then they won't be as moist. This is actually a pretty generous sized meatball.
Oh, there you go.
And it goes right into the pan.
Okay.
Brown that for just a couple of minutes and some extra virgin olive oil.
Right. Until they're brown, right?
On each side, maybe until they're brown. And then
there they go.
And then when they're good,
they're nice and
then I guess
good like that. It's going to move right over here to our bit of what we like to call the old Italian gravy.
Italian gravy.
Some marinara sauce.
Okay,
and that's just going to sit here and simmer in there for about 45 minutes.
To finish cooking.
To finish cook all the way through. And then, I mean, it's pretty much just point and serve at that point.
Okay.
Also, another like a special thing that Jared and I have kind of figured out over the course of our time.
She learned it from watching The Sopranos.
Okay.
Which, you know, also to be fair, is a nice Italian thing as well. You're going to want to add just a little bit of Parmesan cheese to your batch of noodles.
Now you're adding that before you do your...
Before you add the meatballs.
And that is because...
You're going to want to give just a touch of the sauce in there as well. Mix that up with a little bit of Parmesan before you add the meatballs.
Let it melt.
And it's going to prime your pasta, so it's going to be nice and moist and it's going to be...
Can
It's
they
going to absorb a
cook?
lot of the
Soak up.
Can they cook?
And then you have some Italian juice to go with
And we
that.
have sometimes like Chianti.
Very nice. The size of these meatballs.
That's it. We're doing well.
Hungry man meatballs.
Hey, this one looks about right. Who made that one?
I made that.
That's John.
Okay, Brian makes these humongous ones. We should let everybody know, because the fireside chats are the main reason you came here, but we wanted you guys to come cook with us, too. The show is such a great show. It's not too late. It's going to be here for a long time. Here's all the information, though, on those stage side chats, I should say. They're going to be following performances with tonight's show through June 10th. There are 8 shows a week, and you can get tickets at Broadway in Chicago, box offices, or through the ticket line, 312-902-1400. Okay, finish that for me.
They're also available through Ticketmaster. We also have this information on our website, abc7chicago.com.
And this is your next career, right?
And my next career is going to be an anchor person.
All right. Thanks so much, guys. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Very good. Good job.
Dean goes behind the scenes of the musical Jersey Boys.
The songs are simple and pure, but the response has been extraordinary. In the year and a half that the Four Seasons musical Jersey Boys has been open here, the reaction has been loud and clear. And Chicago's been loving this show. There are no signs of it letting up. A new block of tickets just went on sale last week that'll keep many people in front of and behind the curtain working until October 2009.
On the rail, warning flight 26 in the red, warning auto 162 in the red, 163 in the blue, 164 in the yellow. Okay.
Perched above the action is stage manager Larry Baker, who's like an air traffic controller for everything that happens on the stage, keeping one eye on the script, calling out the cues that coordinate with the conductor, the lighting technicians, and the stagehands who are moving scenery on and off the stage. In the wings, the ensemble gathers for a pre-show ritual prayer. Below the stage, costumes are lined up, ready for a quick change. Cast members get last-minute touch-ups on makeup and hair before they go on, and then scurry around to be in the right place, waiting for their cue. On the day of our visit, the new Frankie Valli in the show, Dominic Scaglione from the New York cast, is hanging out backstage to get a feel for the traffic so he's ready when he takes over the role. Just before the show, we visited the Four Stars in their dressing rooms to find out what they think have made the Jersey Boys Chicago show for all seasons.
Everyone came together, brought this show together in such a tight-knit way that the audience can relate to, and it just, right out of the park, you know, you're just like, right off the bat, you're just going on this ride.
This musical, even though it could technically be considered a jukebox musical, really isn't. They didn't take the music of the Four Seasons and try to write a show about something completely different.
There's something about this music that immediately draws people toward thinking about their past, thinking about their youth, growing up, and where they were at the time when they were listening to this music.
But even more so, the whole story is about, you know, working class guys, blue collar guys that, you know, on a fluke just happen to be able to hit it big. And I think that really hits home to people.
See you later. And congratulations to Sean Wiley, Bob Gaudio in the show, on his prestigious Drama Desk Award nomination for his work in the show My Vaudeville Man in New York. In the meantime, the show goes on at the Bank of America Theater downtown with no end in sight. Dean Richards, WGN News.
This is John Gardner with Jersey Boys, and we're here on a gorgeous day for an interview to give you a tour backstage. Follow me. This is the access that nobody gets to see. Now you guys get to see what we do on stage. This is all our business backstage, which makes everything go, which we're going to be taking a look at. All the paperwork and ins and outs. One of our great crew guys here, Dave Crew, appropriately named. They're not used to being on camera. You'll have to forgive them. So this is all part of our backstage staff. We tour 19 actors, but what you don't know is we total about 50 in everything from costumers to carpenters to props people, and we're going to take a look at all of it. Everything gets locked up tight. This one stores all our guitars, and we're going to take a little peek. We can't get in anybody's way. Wow, I was really out in the rain, wasn't I? All these lovely people we bring in to help us do all our wardrobe and everything. They're testing the sound right now. That's what you hear. Yeah. We're gonna head into my dressing room right now, and now you're gonna get to see where the real magic happens. We always bring these two sheep heads with us. That's a lie. I don't know why Jacksonville has these things here. So we're gonna head to my dressing room right now. We'll be leaving our Jersey Boys mark here on the wall. All the tours that play in these different theaters, as well as in Jacksonville, we all sign and date this stuff. You can see Wicked was here. We have a few friends there. Bunch of comedians, Jerry Seinfeld, Sarah Palin. I'll sign the wall right there. And anyway, welcome to my little dressing room, where I always keep a copy of picture of the real Four Seasons and Tommy DeVito, who I play. And this is where our tour has gone. Well, check out this map. It's a little OCD, I realize, but I like to track everywhere we've gone. So once we finish with Jacksonville, I'm going to go ahead and connect the dots. There we are. In case you guys didn't know where your city was, it's right here. And we're going to be connecting that to Chicago, which is where we play next. So let's go take a look on stage. So before I go on stage every night, I knock back a couple of these bad boys. Now this is all part of the props department, which they keep us looking good. All our different drinks and everything, all the different trays. Check this out. All the different microphones through the years. You may not think like, oh, what's the difference in microphones? Well, our show, Jersey Boys, spans decades. So as the technology changed, so do the instruments we use. Like using keyboards like a Farfisa, which they don't even use anymore, but we had to get a hold of some of these. We play live instruments on stage, so this is a real drum kit. As well as these are all the guitar. This is my guitar right here. You can see it's, I kind of beat it up a little bit, but that's my guitar that I play on stage. And like I said, don't let anybody tell you that any of this is pre-recorded music. Everything's live. Everything's live. Here's some of more guitars, some of our car seats. Now this is interesting. Check this out. This is where one of our keyboardists sits. We're backstage right now. And not only is he reading music, and he has to follow along all the different instruments that are playing at the same time, as well as being connected to, and if you've ever been to see us in Jersey Boys, you may notice we don't have an orchestra in front of us. The orchestra is either on stage or backstage. So where's the conductor? The conductor is on the video screen. He's not sitting there right now, but we have a camera on him, and then we watch him through all these different video screens, which are over there, which are right here. They're all over the place. You know, the beauty of technology, right? It's genius. More of our lovely guitars that we have here. We have deals with Fender and Gibson because, as you can imagine, with 5 or 6 companies of Jersey Boys worldwide, we use quite a number of guitar and strings. So let me quickly show you some costumes. So this is one of the changing booths right here, where if you take a peek in here real quick, if you think the guys wear the most costumes, absolutely incorrect. We have a small ensemble of people, 3 girls who play 53 characters. So all of these are one girl's costumes. They change in and out. We have a whole rack of shoes. It's amazing. It's amazing. All of these that you see here, they'll be all filled with shoes, which get changed lightning quick. Let's take a look stage left. Now this is where all of the really fast costume changes take place backstage. Everything is lined up brilliantly, and we have a fantastic local crew that helps us out with all this business. That we're going to stay out of their way, because they'll be very angry if I mess up their work, and we'll look awful if I don't let them do their jobs. As you can see, tons of costumes, which all have to be ironed and everything every night. I mean, it's crazy how hard everybody has to work to make everything come across perfectly. But happens 8 times a week. So this is a good vantage point. You can see one of the pianos that gets pushed on stage, as well as their second drum set across there, and our crossover area. And this is up here is where our stage manager sits. He sits right up here and calls the show. Okay? So he's following along in his script, which then he's watching 4 different cameras, one on the conductor, the stage, the aerial view, all these different things. But if we take a little peek, this is the little walkway that sends us right out onto stage. And that's where I enter 1,000,000 times during the show. And we're about 2 stories up in the air right now. All right. And we're gonna follow you. We're gonna follow you. This is Sarah. She's our wonderful press rep here in Jacksonville. It's helped set us up with this great interview on the beaches. We use real cameras on stage. What we do is we've built these to look like classic cameras, and then we have digital cameras installed inside of them. And all of these are old vintage real lenses, but to get them to work properly and to use projections up on the screen, we have everything installed digitally inside of them. But everything projected on the screens is live, which I think is really ingenious. And yeah, that's the Nickel tour here at Jersey Boys. Hope you get to see us. We got about a week left, and yeah, it's a pleasure being on the beaches. So I'm John Gardner. I play Tommy DeVito in Jersey Boys, and hope to see you soon.
Pretty baby.